PMacMovies back. We haven't had a little sit down and chat video in a while, and I'm always pondering things to talk about, but it's hard to talk about stuff, this being a movie channel, and there's so much, if you start talking about things that aren't movies, some people get triggered by it, some people enjoy it. Obviously, it's a lot smaller audience than the people who watch my haul videos. So first, I'm just making it clear this video is not talking about movies. It's going to be PMacMovies talk. We're going to be talking about, things going on right now. A lot of things coming to the surface this year with what's going on. And just kind of taking a look at that, taking a look at how the system functions, how society runs, and things like that. So nothing that I plan to talk about as far as movies. So if you don't care about those things, if you're triggered by outside-the-box thinking, this is not going to be the sort of thinking that you get on the screen, on the TV set. It's going to be different than those things. It's not going to be, the talking heads on there. They have their, what I believe are manufactured opinions and things like that. But if you do enjoy PMacMovies, check out the description section for ways that you can help out the channel, reach out to me. And, these videos do, quite honestly, more harm than good for the channel. But I feel like it's important. Which reminded me, I was, with the election there last month, you'd see people, make your voice heard, you got to make sure you vote. You have to make sure you vote. It doesn't matter who you vote for. Make sure you vote. Make sure your voice is heard. And I'm thinking, okay, so there's two possibilities that could win this thing. How is your voice being heard by voting for one of them? It's just, I know that's something that's taught to us when we're little kids, when we're in elementary school. Believe it or not, I was a kid in, regular school, regular elementary, middle, high school. Got very good grades, went to college, got a bachelor's degree. Doesn't make me better than anybody, It doesn't make me better than anybody. I'm just saying I can fit into the system just fine. I've had a system job ever since college. I've worked at a theme park. I've worked at stores, Walmart. And I've worked as more like, professional work after that, substance abuse places, mental health, counseling, substance abuse counseling, working in the prison system, seeing how the medical field operates, seeing how the justice system operates. I've had an experience in a lot of different areas of the system. I'm not just some dopey moron idiot who comes on here speaking nonsense. I mean, it probably is going to be nonsense to a lot of people because, that's kind of your mindset. And you're already ready to pick holes and find the holes and pick my words apart. But if you listen to what I talk about with an open mind, without the preconceived notions, I'm not saying that you'll agree with all of it, but you might be able to, have some things that I talk about, it might kind of get you thinking a little bit. But if you come right into it thinking, this guy's a jackass, this guy thinks he's better than me, or he's better than other people, this and that. I don't think I'm better than anybody. I don't think I'm better than other people. What I think is I have experience. I use my observational skills. I do a lot of research. And people will pick apart my research too. You're listening to these conspiracy theory, blah, blah, blah. I do research on all sorts of different things, but I also compare that with what I observe and, interactions. And I'm the type of person who tends to be pretty quiet, really. Like when I'm out and about, I do a lot of observing how people behave and how they think and things like that. That's very important, observation. I do have coffee. This is going to be a video where we kick back, we relax, we drink a little coffee, tea, whatever your favorite beverage is. It feels like it's missing something. Should have been stronger. Anyway, and it's you know, I don't have like a script for this video, so it's hard to like stay focused and stay on track with what I want to talk about. I did write down some things, but I just want to say again, I am not trying to trigger anyone. I am not saying things just for the hell of it. I'm not saying things to get a rise out of people. I'm saying things because I feel like, you know, I have my perspective, my opinions, and they need to get out. And back to the voting thing, it's like our voice being heard is a good thing in that perspective, even though it's not really sharing your voice. But then when somebody actually comes, like myself, and speaks and says things that people don't agree with because it doesn't agree with, you know, what the TV says or what like the normal way of thinking is, people lose their effing minds. And you can just see that people see things a certain way, like, yeah, you need to have your voice heard, you need to vote, you need to have your, you know, you have to have your say. But then when they hear something they don't like, when somebody's actually speaking their opinion and using their voice like I'm doing right now, some people will break down, freak out, get offended. You can't think that way. You can't think that way. And they just... So it's really strange, but a lot of that has to do with programming, things that we're taught, things repeated to us over and over again, certain ideas that were told or were given through media. And people, you know, lose that ability to think critically, think outside the box, and see things that, you know, things that you're supposed to get offended about. These triggers are programmed into you. Things that you get offended about, you're probably offended about them. You get upset about them because that is actually almost like some sort of computer program that has been programmed into you in some way. And that's why it's strange when, you know, we'll share our beliefs and people get really upset about it. More upset than they should get. Why are they doing that? Why are they getting so upset? It is programming. It is mind control. And I've had to learn that for myself over the years. Like, and I'm not saying I'm perfect with it either, but if somebody disagrees with you or has a different opinion than you, I think I've gotten a lot better as far as, that's the way it is. The problem is when people will start to try to encroach on your rights, and then it's not just a matter of a different opinion. It's like, well, everybody should be mandated to get the vax because this and that. Well, now you're saying something you're saying something as far as like forcing me to do something that I don't think is helpful for me. You're encroaching on my rights. It's not a matter anymore of just opinion. And the thing that this current circumstance has done is an encroachment. It's an encroachment on other people's rights if you don't wear something over. I'm kind of being careful with the words that I use, over your mouth and nose. They believe that's encroaching on their rights because that's going to affect them if you don't do that. Whereas in reality, in nature, in the natural world, and in reality, it's not going to affect anyone. It's just not. There's a lot of misinformation out there regarding what causes illness, what causes people to be sick, and I'm not going to get into this video. There's too many other things I want to talk about, but I'll just point this aspect of it, and don't leave a comment like breaking all this down. I'm not getting into the nitty-gritty of it, but we're taught things are a certain way, and when some people get, somebody gets sick and other people get sick, we've all seen that. But there's a lot of people that don't get sick when we see people get sick. And there's a lot of other factors in the environment going on besides what we're told illness comes from. People being exposed to the same diets, to the same things in our environment. There's just a lot more to it. It's really simplified and dumbed down. That you can just, the way that illness, people get sick. There's a lot more to it than we're told. And that's a thing, something that triggers people. And if you're getting triggered by it, you personally need to take a look and say, this person disagrees with me, and I'm getting upset about it. Why are you getting upset about it? Sit and think about it for a minute. Rather than getting pissed off at me, think about yourself. Why is this insignificant person to me? Am I really that important to you that what I think is going to make you upset? That's strange. That is strange. And I think too, probably when somebody sees someone talk with like confidence, that they're sure of themselves, like I've done a lot of research. I am confident in what I believe, and a lot of people will see that as a bad thing. They see you as a piece of trash. If you exhibit some sort of confidence, you shouldn't be confident. And I mean, if you believe what they believe, then you can be confident about it. But you shouldn't, they feel like there's a certain arrogance or like an overconfidence that comes out. And I do believe these things strongly, and it's not to put anybody down, like it's just the way it is. But don't take somebody being confident as them being like talking down to you or something like that. I'm not trying to talk down to anyone. That a lot of that's about your perception too. It's not just about how I'm talking. This is kind of just how I talk. But let's move on to a few things, because I feel there's a few ways where we can, a few things that are obvious that people miss a lot of the time. And here's the thing, most people are good people, and they do believe that in general the government wants to keep, protect us and is looking out for our well-being. And they do believe that because they're a good person, they're a kind person, they're a good-hearted person, so they believe in general that other people are good, kind-hearted people. And in general, that is correct. I do believe that most people are good. They want to just be able to focus on their lives, provide for their family, take care of their business, and be left alone. Because people are so good and have that mindset that, they'd help others, they care about others, they believe that the people who are at the top of the system are the same way. And it's just not true. We have to understand that the entities or the people that rise to power, they want this power, they want this control. And I would suggest that you do some research on sociopathy, on narcissism, on understanding more about what sociopaths are like, what they think differently than normal people. And there are a couple obvious things in our system that prove, in my opinion, they prove beyond doubt that the system is set up to cause harm to people. It is set up to cause people to not be able to function properly, to be stressed, to be ignorant, to be unaware. And a couple of these obvious things are, first, the education system. So like I said earlier in the video, I've went through it. I have a bachelor's degree and all those things. I'm not saying, I'm better than anybody. I'm just saying I've experienced it. I know it. I've been through it. Take a look at the education system. What are the most important things? If you were running the show, say, society said, you plan these things out, or like they pick a group of 5 to 10 people, and they say, you guys pick out the most important things when these kids go to school, what people need to learn when they're young. What would be the obvious things? How to take care of themselves would be the, oh, well, that's supposed to be taught to by parents. You're in school every day, every weekday, you know, the holidays, whatever else, and then you get the summer off. But in general, 8 hours or whatever a day for 13 years, is it? You know, if you count kindergarten and then preschool too, possibly. So 13 years. If the society wanted a society of very well-functioning people, what should be focused on? Is it all, you know, yes, you need to know some math, you need to know some science, and all these things. Some history, some, you know, a little bit of all those things that we do get. However, the most important things in life, the things that you could function pretty much on your own without being reliant on any system, you're really not taught much of. And you might have taken a home ec class where you learned a little cooking and stuff like that. But what are some of the most important things we need to know in life are? And I work with, you know, an adult population who has a lot of trouble, and I hear about it too. You know, like I said, I observe, I see what people's issues are. What are some of the things that people, they just aren't educated on these things? People, and it's obvious, people should be taught to hunt. People should be taught how to grow food. People should be taught how to, you know, maybe fishing, construction, carpentry, auto mechanic, how to fix things in their house. These would be things that if you were really looking out for people and you wanted people to be in a well-functioning, like a well-functioning member of the community, of the society, be able to take care of things themselves, you would teach them all these things. Parenting skills. And there may be some little classes you can take, but parenting skills, one of the most important things. People tend to have kids and have no idea what to do. Parenting skills, very important. Stress management. How important is stress management? Do you get any of that in school? If you did, it was very, very little. Communication skills. How to get your needs met. How to communicate assertively. Those are things that most adults, they just can't. It's like people have a lot of trouble communicating assertively. And how many issues would it resolve if people would just, you know, I have a problem, sit down, talk to somebody about it, your understanding of each other, and you work it out. And if you had those skills that were developed in school, the stress management, the communication skills, being able to take constructive criticism, things like that, our interactions with people would be so much better. But yeah, I mean, people don't know how to do much. They're always reliant. You know, you have a problem, something breaks, you need to call somebody for it. It causes a lot of stress. Costs a lot of money. So they want you in this continuous loop of maybe you know how to do a few things yourself, but a lot you don't. You need to constantly be, you know, you have a problem, you need to hire somebody to fix it. You know, you need food, you go to the grocery store, which is very convenient, but we should also know how to get our own food. What if we don't have access to the grocery store? What if we lost electricity? Which electrical is another skill that we could be taught. And I know, you know, there's like BOCES and things like that, but these are important things. These are a lot more important than you're learning calculus and all this stuff that like most people never use, like the higher end math. The history that we're taught is all propaganda crap. There's just a lot, and that's obvious. I mean, come on, that stuff is obvious. These obvious life skills that we're not taught, those should be the main focus of school, and they're a very little, if any, focus. Cooking would be another one, and again, I took home ec, but it was, you know, it wasn't like a main portion. Okay, so those are a couple important points that I want to make. Now, the other thing is war. War should not exist. I've traveled to different countries, and again, I observe, I meet with a lot of people, I talk to a lot of people, and my work and things like that, and nobody wants war. The only reasons would be is if they believe the anger is pushed on them, the hatred for certain types of people is pushed on them. But you go to these other countries and just meet all the normal people. They just want to be left alone and do their own thing and be with their families, provide for their families, and just be left alone. That is what probably over 99% of people want. So why does war exist? Because this 0.000001, and I don't know exactly, but it's a tiny portion, wants to keep the rest of the people down, so they create this conflict, and it just doesn't make any sense if you think about it. If over 99% of people don't want something, and well over 99%, I would say, and 0.001, I mean, I don't have all the numbers, obviously, but if this tiny percentage of people want something, and so it happens, isn't that like, is a light coming on? Like, why does it happen then? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. It's total manipulation. It's total mind control. You have to convince people to want to do these things. You need to convince people to sign up for the military. There's these reasons why to do it. And every side's got it. The side that on the side that your country's up against, they're being told things to piss them off too. So it's just every little sect, and there's all this division created, and then you got this. It's something that just should not exist. It doesn't even make any sense. If you even think about it, how do the borders of all these countries and everything get formed? Like, oh, I learned about that in history class. Really? Well, like, how? Like, still, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, oh, this is here and this. It's just dumb. Like, it doesn't even need to be like that. People could just coexist. We've been taught that we can't coexist. That everybody, a lot of people are angry, and there's always been, tribes warring against each other. It's like you're just told that. You don't know. And I know people will be triggered by this, but think about it. I don't know what happens. It's like, I think what happens is people, like the bad people in their lives, maybe stand out. Most people just want to be left alone, though. Yes, there's people that are aggressive and people that are assholes, but I think those ones stand out in your mind because of the way they are. Most people are fine and just want to, be left alone and do their thing. So it's these high-end sociopaths that kind of ruin things for everybody, or possibly whoever they're following orders from. I don't know. I mean, we're not going to get to the top of the pyramid here. We're just not going to. But I hope I can at least give you guys a few little nuggets, a few little some food for thought. And when it relates to the thing going on now, like, when a lie is so big, those are sometimes the best lies, when the lie is just huge. So if you think about war shouldn't exist, they've been keeping us in this perpetual state of war, always given reasons for it. And now you have what's going on now, which is more of, depending on your angle, but it looks like it's psychological warfare, and it isn't just in this like people say it's a global thing. Well, no shit, it's global. Like, see, people believe in each separate little country too, but where the people who are supposedly running that country, where are they getting their orders from? When almost every country is behaving the same way, doesn't it make you, like, wouldn't some of these countries kind of fall out of line a little bit? Oh, Sweden! Oh, come on, man, just stop. People are too into the mainstream thing, and then if there's just like one outlier, it's like, oh, that is not correct, PMac. That is not correct. Wrong, PMac. Wrong. They just want to point out. They just want to break apart each little thing. I'm throwing out a lot of stuff. And if you want to break every little piece of it down, you're going to be able to, because it's like, just think about it. Just think of some of the things that I talked about rather than trying to pick them apart. Ponder them. Because if you want to pick something apart, you can pick it apart. And I understand that. And I understand I haven't went into a lot of discussion and stuff like that on this. This is a little coffee talk video. I'm hoping to be able to flick on some lights inside people's heads, get them thinking about some of these things that do not make sense. The main things are the people at the top not being the same as you, being sociopathic in their thinking, and, you know, then the war aspect and the education aspect goes to prove that. Because if the people at the top were sociopaths, what would they want to teach people? A bunch of nonsense that doesn't really help them that much in life, and to pretty much fit into their little system that they created, which is exactly what the educational system does. And then war, it just keeps people in a constant state of fear, stress, anxiety, all these things. It should not exist. People just want to be left alone. The large majority just want to do their thing. They don't want to control people in other countries. Nationalism's another thing. Like, because you live in a certain area, you live in a certain country, you think you're better than somebody in another country. It's just stupid if you think about it. Just stupid. It doesn't make any sense. I'm proud to be an American. Brr, 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 brr. Yeah, okay, you can be proud to be what you are, but it doesn't make you any better than somebody who lives in Europe or Africa or the Middle East. You're all people. It's like this division thing. The division that's created is another aspect of the sociopathy. They want us constantly warring, men against women, different races against each other, different nationalities against each other, different religions against each other. When you're living in it, and I've met a lot of people of a lot of different races, there's everyone and in different countries of every different of all these divisions, different countries, all this different stuff. There could be the nicest people you meet that are a different race in a different country. There could be the biggest asshole, just like, you know, there's white male Americans that I meet that are big assholes, and then some of them are super nice. It depends on the person. It doesn't have anything to do with their race or their sex or their where they live. Like, come on, it's just so obvious at this point. Like, just see the manipulation and the division making, and it all comes from the people at the top being sociopaths, and they trickle that down to get us warring against each other so that they can keep their nice little spot. That's how you do it. You keep everybody pissed off at each other. You take a look at the Trump-Biden thing. Totally, so much division there has been created. It's very obvious. I think I've made my points. I'm going to make a haul video now, and I'm not sure if I'm going to put... I'm not sure if this one's going to be up Saturday or Sunday. One of them I'm going to post Saturday, one of them Sunday. We'll see how it goes. Thank you for watching PMac Movies. I'm not going to keep making these types of videos if I don't get some good discussion, some good feedback. And remember, too, a lot of the people who are negative against these sort of videos will be the ones who hit the thumbs down and give, like, a negative response. So if you're in agreement too, or if you want to expound on some of these things, definitely thumbs up, leave a comment so that your voice can be heard in the PMac comment section. But if you agree or disagree, do it with respect. I mean, that's the main thing. I don't mean to put anybody down. I don't mean to be overconfident or to act like I'm a know-it-all or anything like that. Maybe that's how I come across. Maybe that's your perception. Part of it could very well be your perception too. Because people, you think you're a know-it-all, blah, 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 blah. Well, if I was saying stuff that you agreed with, you wouldn't be. You just think that because I'm talking with some confidence and I'm saying things that you don't agree with. So in your mind, that makes me a know-it-all. But really, I'm just talking about stuff. So definitely, if you agree or disagree, do it with respect. And we will see you next time on PMac Movies.